Everything changes the moment you realize what Apple has actually been cooking behind closed doors in Cupertino, because the leaks surrounding the upcoming Mac Mini M5 aren't just an incremental update, they are a complete paradigm shift that threatens to dismantle the entire desktop PC market as we know it. Most people are currently obsessed with the M4, but inside sources and supply chain leaks suggest that the M5 architecture is where Apple plans to introduce a level of efficiency and raw power that simply shouldn't to be possible. This price point effectively creating a machine that could arguably be called the single best value computer in human history. We need to talk about the silicon first, because if the rumors about the 2-nanometer process technology are true, we are looking at a transistor density that doesn't just improve speed by 10 or 20%, but potentially doubles the energy efficiency while skyrocketing the multi-core performance to levels that rival workstations, costing 5 times as much. Imagine a machine that fits in the palm of your hand, yet outperforms a massive tower PC that sucks power from the wall like a vacuum cleaner. That is exactly the future the M5 Mac Mini promises. But the story gets deeper when we look at the graphics architecture, because for years, the Achilles heel of the Mac has been gaming and high-end 3D rendering. Yet the M5 leaks point toward a radical redesign of the GPU cores, specifically tailored for hardware-accelerated ray tracing and mesh shading, that could finally make the Mac Mini a legitimate console killer. You have to understand that Apple isn't just trying to sell you a computer anymore. They are trying to own your living room, your office, and your creative studio all at once. And by integrating Thunderbolt 5 support into the base model of the M5 Mac Mini, they are opening up a world where transfer speeds are so instantaneous that external drives feel faster than the internal SSDs of just a few years ago. This connectivity is not just a spec sheet number. It changes the workflow for video editors, coders, and even casual users who want to drive multiple 6K or even 8K displays without the fan noise sounding like a jet engine taking off. Which brings us to the thermal design. There have been whispers about a new cooling system, a dense graphite-based thermal solution that allows the M5 chip to sustain peak performance for hours without throttling, meaning that for a 40-minute render or a marathon gaming session, this tiny box stays silent and cool, a feat that defies the laws of thermodynamics we're used to in the Windows world. We also need to discuss the unified memory architecture, because the leaks suggest a bump in the base memory bandwidth that will make 16 GB feel like 32 GB on any other system, essentially eliminating the loading bars and spinning beach balls from your life forever. When you combine this hardware mastery with the upcoming macOS optimizations that are rumored to be exclusive to the M5 generation, you start to see a picture of a device that is future-proofed not just for 2 or 3 years, but potentially for a decade. The most controversial part of these leaks, however, is the pricing strategy, because analysts are predicting that Apple might actually keep the price aggressive to lock users into their ecosystem. And if they launch this M5 beast at the same price point as the current models, it becomes mathematically impossible for any competitor to build a PC with equivalent build quality, lifespan, and performance for the same money. You have to ask yourself why you would buy a bulky, depreciating plastic tower when you can own a slice of the future that holds its value better than gold. This brings us to the ecosystem trap, which is actually the M5's secret weapon, as the neural engine in this new chip, they're being designed to handle on-device AI tasks that we haven't even seen yet, making this the most private and powerful AI assistant hub in your home. As we look at the competition, Intel and AMD are scrambling to catch up to the efficiency of Apple's silicon, but the M5 represents a gap that is widening, not closing, and for the consumer, this means the wait might actually be the smartest financial decision you make this year. If you buy a computer today, you might regret it the moment the M5 drops, because the performance per dollar ratio we're seeing in these early benchmarks is frankly insulting to every other computer manufacturer on the planet. We are standing on the precipice of a new era of computing where size implies nothing about power, and the Mac Mini M5 is the monolith leading that charge. So before you pull out your credit card for anything else, You need to understand that this isn't just a computer upgrade. It is an investment in a machine that is rewriting the rules of what is physically possible. And skipping this generation might be the biggest tech mistake you could make.